Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident. And you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, introducing the greatest top 10 show, the movie Mount Rushmore, featuring the one AJ Anthony Jordan, the UK's favourite film critic, Nico Lero, the Silver Screen Dude! Hey screeners, how you doing? It's myself, the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
And me, Nico Lero. Shout out to all of my Nicoholics. What up, AJ?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing, my friend? I finally saw Mortal Kombat, so for those of you who haven't seen it yet, please go out and see it. It's a flawless victory. I mean, it has
nice.
But yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. Definitely.
So fun. I finally saw Godzilla vs. Kong. Lovely stuff. CGI goodness. Terrible human characters, which is what you'd expect from a good old monster movie. I'm happy. I was entertained.
And can I say, if you are in the UK, this recording is coming to you just 2 weeks shy of the cinemas reopening. Mm-hmm. So, there you go. So, what you know? The Silver Screen Dudes are talking films again, current films again. Like, it's all kinds of madness.
Fucking weird, isn't it?
I know, all kinds of weird. This is one I don't know if you can actually relate to, but it's one of those cartoons I think I've brought up a few times. A small golden gem that I enjoyed was The Croods. I was so shocked to realize that they released The Croods 2. I didn't even know. I think it's called The Croods: A New Age. I just saw it like on, what was it? Google Play TV. Like I was at the missus's house, turned on the TV, and it was called Croods 2. I was like, what? Come again? So that's on my agenda of possibly the last video on demand before the cinemas reopen of newness. But yeah, no, things are good. Things are good.
Good.
Yeah.
Very
2
good.
weeks, people. City World. The Silver Screen Dudes are shouting at you right now.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 about whether I can go back or not, because it's Mrs. Pregnant and all that. I don't know how safe it is to put myself in that environment just in case.
Yeah, I hear that. Congratulations, by the way. Not that I didn't know, but obviously I don't think it's actually officially said it on Movie Mount Rushmore. If you're a Ministry fan, you would have heard it ages ago. But yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
For all the spoilers when I say that. Yeah, okay. So, with the cinemas about to reopen, whether we can attend or not, it's something that makes you want to scream, shout, and sing about it. Yes, that's my tangent for this week. Cheesy as hell, but it works. How did this topic come about?
That was you, mate. That was all you last week.
In the most loosest of terms, I believe I was mentioning a film. I'm not going to mention it, not that it made my list this week. And we mentioned a singer, an actor, and I was like, why did I bring up this film before? And I was like, did we do singers who have acted? And boom, by the time we press end recording, we were now at a point of, I actually like that subject. And I was like, hey, let's do it. And here we are. So because it was, I mean, don't get me wrong, we hammer, but we also have personal lives. So I've caught up. I've seen a few films, not as many films as I wanted to. There's one blindingly obvious film that I still wasn't able to see. I'm actually halfway. The missus just wasn't a fan, and that didn't happen. There's a few other films I kind of hit. There were 3 films on that list that just didn't catch her attention, so I didn't get finished by myself. What I will say, just before this goes prefaced, I've actually kind of made it a rule, bar one film. If you're a singer/rapper who is essentially playing a singer/rapper, didn't make the list.
I made that my rule across the board.
Yeah,
especially rapper. especially rapper.
Oh damn! Oh damn! So the film that we said definitely didn't make the list because I kind of left it off for you. Okay.
Hell no.
So okay.
He's playing himself, bro.
8 Mile did not make. It's true because this is the funny thing. 8 Mile and Get Rich or Die Trying, featuring starring 50 Cent. Both of those films are essential films that a lot of people saw as biographical films without directly being biographical films. Like Jimmy just needed to be called Marshall, and it, like
literally,
like he was the white boy living on a trailer who was into rap. Okay, I'm not talking about Jimmy. I'm talking about Marshall Mathers. Like it's so interchangeable. And then we go to Get Rich or Die Trying, the rapper who was into the gangster life and got shot a few times. Yeah, Curtis Jackson or his character in Get Rich or Die Trying. Coincidentally, also the name of his first album. So yeah, those didn't make the list.
This is it. No.
So there's also a film that we talked about last week with Eddie Murphy. Didn't make your list either, right?
It did.
Oh,
that one did.
Right. I was very tempted to, and I thought I brought it up enough. Yeah, and I also done a thing that it wasn't part of my plan. I always said I was going to keep it balanced, right? But I had to keep the singer-rapper ratio out there. So there were two films that I have with rappers that I just had to pull out because I've quoted them so many times anyway, and I'm hoping that because I keep hammering on the head, you would have seen either one or two of those films with my 8 good rappers.
Actually, thinking of it now, my top 3 are all singers who are effectively playing some sort of musician or singer. My beef with 8 Mile is that it was so bordering on the autobiographical. I was like, this is really a reach to call this an acting.
Well, funny enough, my final 3, how can I say it? It actually are the singers who have. It seems weird to talk about. It's like when we done TV stars who started off in film, film stars who started off on TV. You can't do a top 10 of singers or rappers without bringing in those who have actually officially transitioned over.
Exactly.
So my final 3 are those. So they aren't in that thing. There's only, as I said, there's only one playing a singer or a singer acting as a singer. Just one, because I just tried to really deviate from that.
No, I've got a few.
Okay.
But I mean, there's got to. My requirement was that it's got to be something beyond just this is autobiographical. Like there's got to be some sort of gravitas or depth to this performance for me to qualify you.
There are the 3 films that I kept off. 2 because I keep mentioning these characters and other things, and the other one because I mentioned it just last week, and because of the kind of rule that I put in. So I get it because I am sure the same lady is quoted out of it for both of us, and I really was tempted to put her in. I still toyed with it now, and I was like, if you're making it a rule, make it a rule. And I think this also gives me a chance to bring up some films that I don't have a chance to bring up as often by keeping that rule in place. So that's why I'll go for it. So when you hear me saying like my number 6, which I know is like hated by most of the world, don't be like, how dare you put that in? I'm prefacing it to the rest of the world because you will never hear me have a chance to bring up this film any other time. So that's how it works. By putting
fair enough.
Okay. So, Nico, would you like to tell people how the movie Mount Rushmore works, sir?
Should I give it a try without fucking up this week?
Yeah.
So for those of you tuning in for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. If you are new to the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast and listening to us on a multitude of podcast platforms, please be sure to like this podcast. If you have the ability to rate this podcast. And if you have people in your life who like movies and who are into podcasts, let them know. Share the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast and tell the people in your life about this, because without you, there is no us. To quote a wise man sitting over to my side there. But how does the Movie Mount Rushmore actually work? AJ and I each get assigned a topic, or in this case, assign ourselves a topic, and we come right back here into recording and deliver to you, the silver screen dudes, our individual top 10s. This week, I will go first, delivering my bottom 3. AJ will then deliver his bottom 3. I will deliver my next 2. AJ will deliver his next 2. Then we will trade one apiece. If at any time while we are running off our individual top 10 lists, one person has a movie in a higher position, that person will say,
punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the high position. once we have both rounded off our individual top 10 lists, we will combine and create the movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential diverse must-see movies, or I guess in this case, performances of the genre, which this week is...
Top 10 singers who acted in movie roles. Top 10 singers in movie roles. There we go.
Yeah, the top 10 singers who appeared in films. Yeah, there's multiple ways to phrase this one. Okay, let's shoot then. So my number 10, bit of a weird one, because technically the performance is a silent one, but I thought that was kind of the power of it.
I like this.
I've gone with Kevin Smith's Dogma, and I've picked Alanis Morissette playing God.
Okay, nice.
So I don't bring up Dogma much, which is weird because I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I'm a massive mark for his movies. Yeah. I love his kind of almost quasi Tarantino style. I think is really fucking sharp. He's done some stinkers, but for most part, I think his work is brilliant. And I think the pinnacle of his work is probably Dogma. Just brilliant top to bottom, all-star cast. You've got your Jay and Silent Bobs in there from the rest of his universe, so there's that continuity within the Smithiverse, if you will. But yeah, the story of 2 angels who have been excommunicado from heaven, Bartleby and Loki, played by Affleck and Matt Damon, lol, who are trying to work their way back. Meanwhile, you've got young girl who's been assigned to stop them and been assigned by the metronome played by Alan Rickman. And just as they're about to enter the pearly gates of heaven, God decides to descend through Trinity Church. God, in this case, played by a woman who completely changed the face of pop rock, Miss Alanis Morissette.
Isn't that ironic?
There you go. So shit. There you go. This is what I mean. And I love the fact that, you know, when in this movie, when God opens her mouth, it's such a resounding, powerful fucking sound that it essentially kills you. So you have to block your ears. And that's how God ends up wiping out the 2 angels. And yeah, and then when God's not killing angels in a very disgusting way, God's kind of playing around and doing little cartwheels on the lawn of the church. And it just works against all odds. Alanis Morissette playing effectively a silent but deadly God worked wonders. And then when she's asked the question, why are we here? Her answer is, boop. It's brilliant. Love it. I love this film top to bottom. Love Dogma. Have you seen it?
I saw half of it. I remember seeing half of it on Sky. Like I remember like Chris Rock going all kinds of nuts on it.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I haven't seen it fully, so I wish I could comment more. But yeah, perfectly summed up. You haven't given any reason to hate it. Put it that way. So yeah,
it's such
fun. On the list to revisit.
All right, my number 9 might be a bit sacrilegious that it's this low, but the movie's always been meh for me. Fine, acceptable, but not like an all-timer like it is for some people. I'm going David Bowie in Labyrinth.
So this is one of the films that sadly had to make the list of I started it and the missus just saw puppets and goblins and was like, I'm not doing this. So I've not.
What's her beef with puppets? Has she seen Team America or The Dark Crystal?
I don't think either of those will make her read. I honestly don't. I honestly don't. So yeah, sadly, I started it, and you know, I've literally seen the part where it's like, I wish the goblins would take you, and like I've literally just seen Bowie, but it's not enough for me to be like, yes, Jareth, that's it. You're amazing. You make the list. Like it would just totally be unfair to. Yeah, it'd be an injustice for me to go with. I will watch it because guess what? We have different working schedules, so I will watch it when it's not around. But, yeah, aside from that, no.
It's typical Jim Henson, man. It's it's presented as a fucking kids thing, but it's got some incredibly kind of morbid and adult themes to it, as most of his work does.
Mm.
You know, the Muppets at face value are puppets for kids. Dig a bit deeper, they deal with PTSD, they deal with eating disorders, they deal with relationship issues. You know, there's a lot of shit going on with the Muppets.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, which is available on Disney Plus, you know, one of the beloved puppet things from the 90s. Dude, I've been watching Dinosaurs at the moment. They're dealing with some fucking shit in that series that made me go, huh? Like, you know, sexism in the workplace, sexual harassment, fucking turmoil with marriage when a woman goes to work and leaves the husband home alone. Like, there's some shit in Jim Henson that's really, like, on point. Dark Crystal arguably being his crowning achievement. But there is something to be said about Labyrinth, you know, the story of a child who is kidnapped and the older sister, who's got an estranged relationship with said younger baby, has to go and recapture him. Yes, it is inherently kiddie, but there's also something quite ominous about your child being fucking kidnapped. It's hard to deal with, especially for a father, an expecting father. Trust me, I saw this, I was like, not my baby, not the baby, you know. And David Bowie, who I've never seen The Attraction, but a lot of women find him hyper sexy, and he's uber sexualized in this one. Like, he's either packing some heat and he's grown up next to a fucking nuclear power plant, or they were packing some fucking socks down those leotards. That's all I'm saying. He hung. Wow. I was like, the fuck? David Bowie, my ass. Clinton Bowie.
Oh, mate. I wish I could add. I honestly wish I could add, but as I said, the 10 seconds of seeing it wasn't enough. Like, I literally saw Jennifer Connelly turn around and be like, but I want to come back. He's like, but you can't. And that was it. And I was like, she like lost it by that point. So yeah, it's one of those films that I've heard of so much that I actually really want to see it. You know, it's one of those. It's on the bucket list of films. Like, if you know about cinema, Labyrinth is on that list. Like, it's always come up in the list. So yeah, I'm waiting to see that one. Yeah.
Top 10 movie labyrinths. I can think of 3: Labyrinth, Pan's Labyrinth, and The Shining.
Yeah. Why do I think of another one?
I'm sure there are plenty. Alice in Wonderland, I guess.
I had something else in my head and it just completely blanked out. But yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't want to scratch my head too much on it.
Number 9, yeah, David Bowie and Labyrinth. My number 8, I have a feeling we're going to be saying punt here. Meatloaf and Fight Club.
I actually didn't put him in, you know.
Interesting.
I actually did. Do you know what? There was a list of people, and I'm going through and I'm trying to add up, and I completely forgot him. If I'm totally honest, like we all like Bob. We all know Bob had a bitch tit.
Bob had bitch tit.
Yeah. Again, I think it might have even fallen into that category of films I've brought up enough anyway. Like, a lot of these films, I don't know another chance I'll have to bring them up or mention people. But no, for sure, it's worthy.
It is. Look, I've never been I'm not on mark for Meatloaf. I've never been the biggest Meatloaf fan. I'd probably struggle to name songs of his if I'm being completely honest. But I know he's a singer, and I do like the performance in this movie.
If you do that, I'll do anything, but I won't do that.
If you played it to me, I'm sure I did. I'm not the biggest musical guy, as you know, mate. I'm
I get
stuck
it.
in a 90s time loop of rock and roll. That's where my life
There's that and Bat Out of Hell. Was it Bat Out of Hell? He was famous for his.
Oh, Bat Out of Hell. Yeah, that I know. Yeah. So, I actually think, and this will be the same thing as my number 1, I think the role of Bob Had Bitch Tits / his name is Robert Paulson is very underplayed, but also incredibly important, because when you consider Tyler Durden / the narrator's character, Robert Paulson is kind of what keeps him clinging to his good side.
Yeah.
With no Robert Paulson, he goes full on Tyler Durden. Project Mayhem becomes a much bigger thing than it is. It was Robert Paulson's death that kind of sucked him back into, you know, his good side.
Good point.
So the role is important.
Yeah. No.
The role is not only important, but it allows him to cling to that pre-Tyler Durden life when he was going to all the therapy sessions and making himself feel alive again. So it is kind of his connection to his former realer self. So it's an important role. It's an important character for the narrator / Tyler Durden.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. And I mean, it's not terribly played. It's not like, oh my god, Meatloaf, what are you doing? So yeah.
No, this is what surprised me. I was like, this is actually quite good.
Yeah. I can roll with that. All
right.
Okay.
Over to you.
Right. In at number 10. I'm going to do this for you because I know how much you enjoy hearing it. For me, in at number 10. Huh?
3 things are sure in life? Are we
Who?
there?
How?
Oh,
what?
Then
superhero? No, there is actually no superhero movies.
Wow, you fucked up. You fucked up because this is one of your top superhero movies too.
Have you got it in your list?
No, I was relying on you to bring it in.
Go.
Chris Christopherson. Man's a country singer. Whistler from Blade.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't actually know he was a singer. I've only known him as an actor.
Singer before an actor.
Okay, that's another thing I want to add, actually. For instance, there are certain actors who have delved into the world of singing. I didn't do that. You had to start off as a singer first. I didn't actually know that about Chris. Swear down. I actually knew him only as an actor.
Singer.
Did not know that. Did not know he was a singer.
The 3 things this week are not sure in life. No. Only death and taxes.
But in at number 10, it's Sting! That's why I done it.
Oh, Lockstock.
Lockstock, yeah. It's in at number 10 because it's not exactly it's kind of similar to your Bob situation. It's that, okay, it's fairly well played. I mean, you're asking Sting to play like a East End pub owner, so it's not going to be the world's most diverse actor or what have you. But the story of being the owner of this bar and the father to one of the main characters of the film is highly integral to the film moving forward.
Correct.
And that's what I thought. So I had to put a bit of a British feel to it. And I actually really enjoyed it from him because I was like, okay, it's not amazing. Like, oh my God, you have to see Sting in this. But I remember going, Sting?
Yeah. Yeah. That was my reaction.
I'm like, what's he doing here? And his role actually is very, very important. How does one explain Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels? Absolute chaos from the mind of Guy Ritchie, I think, is the best way I could describe.
Well, it's a movie about 4 East End wastrels who decide to do a drug heist against the worst type of people to do a drug heist against.
Yeah. And
that kind of sums it up. But that's also doing a massive disservice.
Massive disservice. That's what I'm like, oh, how do I add to that? Yeah, and all the capers that can come in between it, I suppose, is the best way to do it. And obviously it has the biggest, can I say, the biggest cliffhanger ending that you could ever have. Like, you could take Thelma and Louise and you people like, did they make it? We can kind of guess what happened there. This one, you're like,
they died.
Spoiler.
Bro, the biggest cliffhanger is the Italian Job, surely.
Are they far different, though? Are they far different?
Guy Ritchie definitely got the idea for this from the Italian Job. There's no doubt.
Yeah. But I mean, even in the Italian Job, you're like, even in the Italian Job, you're like, chances are they probably didn't make it. This one, you're like, which way do you go? Do you answer the phone, or are you just like, answer it? I love it. It's just one of those big cliffhangers at a film that you're just, and it just sums up the film perfectly. Of all this madness, you're like, till the very end, it's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe what I'm watching. Did it really happen?
I wish Jason Statham did more fucking roles like this. I really do. I love him in this capacity.
It's sad, isn't it? It is actually sad. I think Hollywood saw him as one thing when there's the UK sees him as another.
Yeah.
You know, granted, Snatch made him recognizable to the world. I'm very sure of that. But what everything he got cast in after said, okay, this is what we'll use him in, and it's just been that. Whereas the
one time I've seen Jason Statham playing like the outright hard man, and I was like, yeah, was in The Expendables. Transporter I never warmed to, Crank I never warmed to. Expendables, he legit kicked ass. I was like, fair.
Yeah, there was another one. Is it The Transporter? A lot of people are quite high anymore.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I'm 50-50. Like, don't
passive about that film.
Yeah, collect as a franchise, but yeah, yeah. But
it just felt like a Hollywood take on Taxi.
it's weird because I think that came out and Hitman came out and they were literally the same film, and I got a bit wound up with that as well. It's just like, really, like you can't see one and then see the other, and it just left a sour taste. But yeah, no. So Sting definitely got a small mention from me there because it impressed me. In at number 9 for me, it's the same character that you brought up, but it is a different film. Hence why I didn't call Punt. Well, I would have agreed, but it's David Bowie. But it's in The Prestige.
Yeah.
Now
playing Nikola Tesla, very good shout.
Yeah. And that I thought he was absolutely amazing. The only reason he's so low is just based on how much screen time is actually in there.
Right.
If I'm honest,
Right.
Honestly, based on screen time, I think his performance was tops. It's integral to the film. Like it's such a delivery. And I remember watching it, thinking, I am seeing David Bowie here. Like when you're watching something, I've seen his name in the credits, and I was like, David Bowie, and I saw it, or he came up and I saw him and I was like, huh? Like I always remember it, but it was perfect. Just this, he fell into the character. He fell into it, like especially for someone who you expect more of Jareth. You expect the when it comes to him, Ziggy Stardust side of him, where he's just all extravagant. He's just so very subdued and just delivers so much power in that film. That I was like, for more screen time, he would have been a whole lot higher. And for anyone who doesn't know The Prestige, a film of two magicians who are doing absolutely everything to outdo each other. Perfect film. Great film.
But we're not talking psychedelic magic. We're talking practical magic.
Yeah, practical magic. That's the thing. It's practical magic and everything behind the illusions and what you do to get the crowd involved and the lengths they go to outdo each other to make, as you said, practical magic. It's not your Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings magic. This is very grounded. Okay, get scientific near the end, and brings.
Oh, very much so.
But initially, the world of pulling the curtain back on magic, the top film, and David Bowie's investment in that just really emphasizes it so much more. So have to mention that one. That was my number 9.
Fair.
Now, this one is number 8. I think you may have the lady on the list. I felt like I had to because she's actually done a few films. I saw this film yesterday, funny enough, for the first time. It's Cher in Mermaids.
Nah, that's all you, mate.
Have you seen it? Or like just her at all?
Say again?
Have you seen the film?
Nah, I can't say I have.
I think I was majorly let down by it more because when that song came out with her, Winona Ryder and Christina Ricci, I fully thought like this film's going to be a comedy. It just looked like really fun. It was one of the biggest dramas I've seen in my life. And let's make no qualms on it, right? I done it because I've respected the fact that Cher's actually been in quite a few films and I respect what she done. But Winona Ryder is the star of this film. There is no in between.
Yeah.
Absolutely no in between. But Cher plays this single mother to 2 kids who, every time life gets a bit serious, she just ups and leaves. She moves to a different state. She'll literally just drop her finger on the map, and wherever it is, she just jumps in the car and takes her girls there. Winona Ryder's character is this very. They come from a Jewish family, but she's devout and wanting to be a nun. She wants to be absolutely religious, like she's trying to follow the ways of the Lord, as it were. And as they land in this new town, I believe it's Boston, she now starts to fall in love with this young character. But what you've got with Cher is this wayward mother who's literally just out for herself. She's always out. She's leaving it to Winona Ryder to look after Christina Ricci. And there's this budding relationship she has with Bob Hoskins along the way. It's a weird film. It's literally just a film about life. It is literally just a film about life and perspective and responsibilities. But for as much as Winona's the star, Cher does play that mother quite well. She shows depths of acting. She shows you enough to say, okay, yeah. Like, I recognize you as a singer, but you're not just a singer in a film role. You actually can act. And for that, I give her credit for it, It's not the film I expected at all. Like, the missus was like, oh, I love Mermaids. And I was really expecting this happy-go-lucky film. And I think that's what really...
That fucking expression again.
Come again?
Happy-go-lucky. Doesn't mean anything.
Well, every week, I do apologise. But I really felt like I was going to have this enjoying film. And I was just like, this isn't making me laugh. What is going on? Like, I I'm watching the film. I don't hate the film. Then when you've got someone who's quite passionate about the film, you're like, okay, but I was like, I needed more, but Winona, I feel bad keep bringing up Winona, but if you ever do see this film, you'll know she is the star. But Cher plays her role well as this crazy ass mother who just makes the most of life, really does. But lacks responsibility in a lot of places. But then there comes a point where she does show responsibility, and you really have to appreciate it. She does. She brings it. She brings it as an actor. So kudos to her for that.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Cher, I mean, the thing that still astounds me is that to this day, she holds the record for longest time at number 1 in the charts, which I still find amazing.
Where? In the UK?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this dates back to Top of the Pops days, obviously, so this is a throwback, but... Yeah, man, Cher.
That was Bryan Adams. I swear to you.
Which one? Summer of '69?
No. The Robin Hood one. I can't. Everything I Do.
No, it's definitely Cher. Do you believe in life after love?
No, it's not. I'm right.
What?
The longest unbroken run at number 1 is Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams, which spent 16 consecutive weeks in 1991.
But Cher was 23 weeks at number 1 in 97.
In the UK?
Yes.
Bro, I'm literally just looking at this thing right now.
But then Top of the Pops lied to me. Because I remember that woman was on Top of the Pops 23 weeks consecutively. And they made like a big hubbub about it.
This is really weird. Because it's listed as something here.
Go on.
I think it's longest running female number 1.
Could be.
I don't know. This is
fair
weird.
play to her. Still astounds me.
Yeah.
Whether it's female or just artist in general.
Start your day right with Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. It contains all the great 5-Hour Energy Shot ingredients, plus added vitamins and nutrients like zinc, vitamin D3, and vitamin C to help support the immune system. It comes in 3 great flavors: Ultra Orange, Pineapple Apricot, and Pink Watermelon. All this comes in a convenient portable bottle that takes just seconds to drink. No mixing required. Daily Immune Support Plus Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy. Get it today at your local Rite Aid store.
He raids your fridge.
Yada brada.
Borrows your car without asking.
Scratches? What scratches?
He's your brother-in-law.
I'll pay you back.
He takes what's yours, and there's nothing you can do. But when identity thieves want to take what's yours, you can do something. LifeLock by Norton monitors your info and alerts you to potential threats. If you become a victim, they can help fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com using promo code LifeLock.
This is sorry. I've got to stop because we're just going to go into this weird world of Cher. Because anyway, yeah. But I get the astoundment. I fully do. It was 7 weeks.
What's that?
It was 7 weeks at number 1, 31 weeks in the charts.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah,
longest time in the charts.
But hey, fair
proud
enough.
memory. What can I do? Well, fact check. Thank you. My number 7. I am going. A lot of people, again, kind of like you with Chris Christopherson. A lot of people don't know that this girl was a singer, actually rapper, before she became quite an impressive actress. Actually, Aquafina from Crazy Rich Asians, who was also in Ocean's 8. Who also I can't for the life of me remember. But she was nominated for an Oscar 2 years ago. And the fucking movie is evading me. Bear with me 1 second. I actually just want to fact check myself on this.
So I will vamp for you on that.
No, I got this. It's cool. I got this because what I was very, very much like not on the Awkwafina bandwagon when this all started. The Farewell, that's it. So she was nominated for The Farewell. And believe it or not, she's been cast as Scuttle in The Little Mermaid.
Nice.
That's an interesting take. Fair play. And is she also in Raya and apparently I haven't seen it yet, but she's Sisu in Raya and the Last Dragon. So yeah, the girl has literally come out of nowhere. I do attribute a lot of this to how good Crazy Rich Asians is. Like, that film caught me so off guard with how good it is.
I wasn't not enjoying it. I'll be honest, I haven't finished it. I wasn't not enjoying it, but I wasn't laughing. I was like,
It's not really a comedy per se. It's kind of like, this sounds very, very, very fucking almost xenophobic coming from a white guy, but please take this bearing in mind. I spent most of my adult life living in Southeast Asia, so I have a modicum of idea of what I'm talking about here. It really is an interesting telescope into upper class Asian culture.
Bro, I'm not going to lie, because my eyes were open to it, but I'll tell you why Crazy Rich Asians will never finish. You know when you're looking for a light-hearted comedy?
It's not really.
But this is it. So I've heard it's a comedy, so I was like, right, let's go for it. Put it on. Me and the missus are looking for a laugh, and we're like, this isn't happening. You know when you need to laugh? You need something like
you need to treat Crazy Rich Asians the way you would treat Jerry Maguire, I think. Jerry Maguire is a comedy, but it's not, if that makes sense. It's almost a dramedy.
Yeah.
If you look at Crazy Rich Asians through that sort of scope, you'll get an enjoyment out of it. If you're looking at it through like a Dumb and Dumber or like, a 40-year-old virgin or pick your poison, right? You're not going to get it. Awkwafina provides some yucks. But no, it's a full-on drama, mate. With some comedic elements to it. You're dealing with some quite serious themes in this movie. You've got one relationship with the ultra rich but very, very lovely, elegant socialite lady who's got a man who is clearly fucking punching because he's not good looking. He's not from the same educated background as her. He's not as wealthy as her, but he's somehow managed to not worm his way in because she clearly does love him, but because of his insecurities that he has ended up cheating on her. So they're dealing with this, which is real, by the way, this kind of dichotomy of wealth between one person and another, and how one person's wealth can make another person feel that insecure. So you've got that relationship going on. You've got Henry Golding's character, who's essentially marrying the main protagonist of this film. And the way that he was regarded as the golden boy of the Singapore society, right? And the fact that all of these, you get the impression that they were women who he could have been with, but he never went with, that he's gone with this girl who he shouldn't have gone with in their eyes, and they're bullying her emotionally. There's all this sort of shit going on that, for me, doesn't lend itself to a comedy. That's why I call it a dramedy. Awkwafina does bring the comedic tone to this. And it was very hit or miss. It's like, so you're going to bring in this relatively unknown Asian rapper to add a human, light-hearted touch to this film, and she nailed it for me.
Nice. I wish I could add, but you perfectly summarized the film. That actually makes me want to see the film more. So I love it,
bro. Give it another try, because you'd agree, Jerry Maguire, despite its moments, you wouldn't classify as a full-on yuck comedy.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. It's one of those films I just haven't got background in it, because I know it's one of those things I'm like, okay, it's not a comedy, but it's not boring me. Do you understand? So I was always like, I need to find its right groove and time, and just never got back.
Put it this way: it's a comedy if you fucking prescribe to the Golden Globes version of comedy, which is bullshit. Just FYI, the Golden Globes should just stop existing. Those things are stupid. Bro. The fucking way they classify movies to hand out fucking candy prizes. It's a fucking disgrace what they do. I got a Golden Globe. It's like, cool, I got a cookie from Sainsbury's. It's like, shut the fuck up. Have an Oscar, have a BAFTA. Come and talk to me. I got a Golden Globe. That's awesome. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have very strong feelings on the Golden Globes.
Really?
Bro, if you look at their ranking system, it's the next level stupidity. It's like they literally fucking create fucking awards to hand out like candy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I blame the Golden Globes for Eddie not winning his Oscar. Put it that way.
Fair enough. Yeah. In that sense, I can roll with you here.
All right, my number 6. Going old school. I'm bringing in Dean Martin in Rio Bravo, a movie which I don't think has ever been mentioned on the top 10.
No. Now, question. Did Dean Martin not start off in acting first?
No, singer. Same as Ricky Nielsen, who's also in Rio Bravo. Yep, singer.
Okay. See, Dean Martin, I don't want to mention anyone else in case they turn up, but there's another guy from the Rat Pack who I officially, a lot of people will re-quote him, but I believe he was an actor before a singer, so I didn't.
You may mention him because I don't have anyone else from the Rat Pack.
Sinatra.
Sinatra was a singer before he was an actor.
Why do I think all of these guys were actors first?
Don't know, man.
Fair play. Well, it didn't make the list. Just purely because I thought these guys were actors first.
So this was a very risky move. So AJ and I have said on many an occasion that Westerns are not really our jam here at the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast. There's the odd one that we like, but a lot of the ones that people like praise, I've watched. I can't speak for you, but I've watched. I've been like, yeah. The one that always makes me go, yeah, is the one that people say is the greatest, Unforgiven. I'm like, whatever. I'd sooner watch the Quick and the Dead, which I appreciate is a monumental guilty pleasure, but I get a fucking kick out of that film. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I can roll with that. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I can definitely roll with that film. No Country for Old Men, I'd argue, is a kind of Western. I can roll with that. I can roll with that. Rio Bravo, although I've only seen it the once, I did get, and I do not like John Wayne, but I did get an enjoyment out of this. And it was very risky to turn, it's a PR nightmare, essentially, because you're turning the female heartthrob that is Dean Martin into essentially a washed-up alcoholic sheriff. And somehow Dean Martin just threw himself so fully into the role, managed to combine someone dealing with almost having an existential crisis, like where does he fit into this lawless world while trying to come out of his alcoholism, and yet still bringing that Dean Martin charm to the role. So balancing all of those things, I think, makes it worthy of making the list. It's a tremendous success.
Yeah. No, I like that. I can't say I've seen the film, to be honest. I can't add to it.
Well, it's one I would say give it a try. Just because it has its place in cinema history. It is a classic. Tarantino puts it as his favorite film of all time, just FYI. If that means anything. Yeah. All right. Over to you. What's your number 7?
My number 7, I had to do this one. One of those films that I enjoyed so much as a kid, but I'm not going to say she made a fantastic performance, but she was good enough. The dearly departed Aaliyah in Romeo Must Die.
Yeah, I love Aaliyah. I've never seen Romeo Must Die.
Really? It's a weird film because you've got Jet Li, whose brother has been murdered, and he's come to town to try and exact revenge. And while trying to pursue this whole situation, he comes across the young Aaliyah, whose dad is a mob boss, for better or worse terms. He's a businessman, but you could tell they're shady. So he's trying to find the people behind his brother's murder. He's come to this girl who, it's very much the kind of, the reason it's Romeo Must Die is because she very much is like your Juliet, who's helping the other side because it's the blacks versus the Asians, and how dare you be talking to them? But she's so innocent. She is the ever so lovable character that everyone loves and smiles. What was? Oh God, I'm blanking here. Bear with me a second. I need to get her name because everyone.
Do what you got to do, man. You're just looking
her
for the
name in the film was Trish. So everyone smiles when they see Trish. You can't hate Trish, but now Trish is doing wrong because she's talking to the other side, and it's weird. And if you ever think of Aaliyah, you always think of that song. Try again. That's her. Well, we won't get into that one. That's a completely different story. But
well, it is after that fucking R. Kelly documentary. God damn it!
Oh, There's a joke. Oh, no, I can't say it here. I was going through my phone with some screenshots I saw, and I don't want to say it because it sounds so insensitive, but I'll screw it. Here we go. If you think it's wrong, just take note of this time and go on. What happens if you cross a paedophile with a pirate?
Go.
R. Kelly.
Oh God, AJ.
I saw it on my screenshots. I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. That is terrible. But literally, I was cleaning up my phone from the craziness I've had over the years. But yeah, no, Try Again, where you see her and Jet Li. That's the music video I think of. That combination, like R. Kelly and Aaliyah had some great music, but Aaliyah and Timbaland made amazing music that led the two for late 90s.
Timbaland is just one of the best producers on the planet. He's unreal, hands
down. And I've seen just small videos of Timbaland like just producing in there, and you just see this guy putting magic together. And that combination was absolutely amazing. And that was it, So as I said, she is just the very lovable Trish. That's all you get from this. You see a bit of an edge at the end. Aaliyah was an interesting choice as an actor, because when you take it further, she died mid-production of Queen of the Damned, which was meant to be the sequel/prequel/ some form of connection to Interview with a Vampire. Lestat is in that film. She had depth. I think had she not been taken away so early, we might have seen her in a lot more films because she would have developed further. She wasn't bad, but it was still green. Excuse me, like amazing singer, one of the greatest singers. Acting development was needed, but I had a lot of
fun. She was green. She was very green.
Yeah, this is it. But Romeo Must Die is one of those films I've watched on numerous occasions, and my love for Aaliyah will not make me have a film about singers. And this is what I'm saying. Like, if I'm going to talk singers in films, how often do I get a chance to bring up Aaliyah or Romeo Must Die? It's not really going to make that list. So, yeah, that was definitely a chance to bring it in. And that was my number
7.
Number 6. Funny enough, this guy is in this film. Funny enough, this guy is also on the Dearly Departed list. And this film is hated by so many. But when I saw it, I loved it. This is my rapper. This is DMX. In Never Die Alone.
Right, this is the rapper you went for, huh?
Oh, I've got a few others.
Because you just said this movie that is hated that I love. It's a rapper. I was like, there's one.
It's my first rapper because I was going to have more rappers. There's another rapper in there. No, trust me, there's another rapper in there for sure that has to come up. But this film, this is one of those where some people are like, is he acting though? Because he's just being a hype black man. This film is DMX and David Arquette, believe it or not, is in this film. And what happened? It's a weird combination. So what happens is DMX plays a guy by the name of King David. And the film starts off with us seeing him getting stabbed and killed. But while he's been stabbed, it's David Arquette who tries to save him and brings him to the hospital, pronounced dead on arrival. But because there is no other connections, all the possessions, jewelry and everything are passed over to David Arquette. We then find out that David Arquette is actually a freelance reporter who covers certain stories. And in the possessions of King David are a load of tapes that chronicles David's life. And in this, you can see he's just catalogued his life on tapes, cassette tapes, little TDKs. Right. And he's just going through his life. He's done a blog, if you want, essentially, of his life. And you hear how it was for him growing up, what led to him becoming a drug dealer, what led to the relationships in the dark underworld that he'd done, and what actually brought him home. And in that, it's this mad story of you seeing the stuff that he would do and how ruthless he became. You understand that some things were scarred from him seeing his dad leaving him, then to some of the relationships. One of the worst things he'd done, and you'll see it in the film if you ever do get a chance to watch it, is he would sell coke. But if anyone ever screwed with him, he would actually take the residue from a car battery and scrape that and put it in there. So as someone snorts that, obviously the battery acid that he's scraped locks him off one time. That was his form of punishment to anyone who tried to screw with him,
He raids your fridge.
You're out of Barada.
Borrows your car without asking.
Scratches? What scratches?
He's your brother-in-law.
I'll pay you back.
He takes what's yours, and there's nothing you can do. But when identity thieves want to take what's yours, you can do something. LifeLock by Norton monitors your info and alerts you to potential threats. If you become a victim, they can help fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com using promo code LifeLock.
The Trojan horse gift, and it's nasty. And there's this very weird plot twist at the end that kind of brings two things in together, because there's another character who I won't bring in that you can see his cross David's path and they don't get along. But yeah, when the untimely their final meetup is quite interesting. You're like, oh wow. And I always remember one of the things that shows you about this life is all the possessions you have, irrelevant of your belief of religion or what have you, what it means on the afterlife, what it means after you're gone. And you just see this thing, you're like, oh man, that's not what they done. That is not what they done. Yeah, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. But I really enjoyed it as a film. I've heard some people like, I thought that was cheese. I thought that was shit. I enjoyed it. I haven't gone back to it, but it's always been one of those films that I've had a lot of respect for. That you ever say to me, DMX is a film? Yeah, he's appeared in Romeo Star. He's done Cradle to the Grave, but I really, really enjoyed him in Never Die Alone. So yeah, you may hate it, you may love it, but it's one near and dear to me, so I had to bring it up. R.I.P.D.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Really, really, really R.I.P. DMX. Yeah. Well, I'm bringing, you call him a rapper, but he's more than that. My number 5, I'm going to bring in Childish Gambino from Solo, A Star Wars Story.
I'm going to be honest, hands up here. I flopped there because this guy is a freaking talent. This guy
in it though.
Hands up there. God. Like no matter what you give him, you ask him to act, he'll do it. You ask him to sing, he'll do it. You ask him to rap, he'll do it. Like talent.
He's ridiculous, isn't he? He's too talented.
Absolute talent. Now, hands up, flop. Yeah.
Now, you and me have never understood this. You and me are big fans of Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Yeah.
There is a lot of hate for this film out there, which I have my theories about why. I don't think people actually have a beef with the movie. I think people have a beef with the company and their strategy behind the franchise. And I think people vetoing Solo, A Star Wars Story was backlash at people's disdain for The Last Jedi.
Yeah, Last Jedi, sorry.
That's my theory. I'm one of the Last Jedi defenders. I have a kick out of that film. I think it's monumentally poetic. I see all the problems with it,